Welcome to EVO Racing Season 3. I am your host and commentator up in the booth, Nick Silva, and I am excited to get this season of racing started with you guys. It is a pleasure to see you all here in Algarve International Circuit in Portugal. Let's get started. We have two classes this season, just like before, Hypercar and GT3. And let's start running through the order. We have some changes this year. So as you can see, we're going to have multiple cars that we did not have last season. As we wind our way through, we have qualifying getting set up now. And I just can't wait to get ready to watch this with you guys. Yes, this is the new event card showing the event for today and the weather conditions and everything like that for this upcoming session. So we have 4 kilometers ahead of us for this qualifying session. And I think it is about time that we get going. So let's see if anybody has taken the road yet. We have Connor Sinos in the Ford Mustang. This is a new entry to the from the Lap Legends Motorsports team. He is here as a rookie in EVO Racing League, but let me tell you right now, he is not a rookie to racing in general, so we are excited to have him amongst us. He's raced at Portimão before, so he knows what he's doing. And let's see what kind of things he can show us. Now, let's get on to Josh Harper-Jones. We've seen him before the past 2 seasons of EVO. And he is one that we will take note of as a major change for this season. Last season, we saw him in the Cadillac Hypercar. Now he has transferred over to the Porsche Motorsports Works vehicle, that 963 machine. Ben Blizvicius, we saw him as well in Hypercar last season. He has now moved to Mercedes AMG Works in the GT3 field. Shea Evans, we had him last season as well. He was in the Hypercar field in Ferrari, and he is keeping that same as we head into Season 3 as he starts his qualifying outlap. Pascal Schmerke in the beautiful Genesis in her Red Bull livery, repping the number 555. Ollie Barker on his outlap, the owner of EVO Racing League in the Lexus this year. He was in the BMW GT3 last year, so he's made a change as well as he starts his outlap. Joshua Field, he is once again going in the McLaren. We've seen him before. Lots of hope for him to find more success this year compared to last. Benny Anjos, this is a new entry to the EVO Racing League family. He is going to be in the Porsche GT3. Josh Harper-Jones has put down his first lap, not necessarily representative. Ben finding his way back to the pits. He found something he did not quite like with that car before getting set for his qualifying. 11 minutes remaining on the clock, so not a lot of time left already. Still have a lot of people in the pits, in the garage, so hopefully we're going to start seeing them here soon. Connor Racino's putting down his first lap in GT3. and we're going to see him get started on a second one. We'll stick with him now. He is in the Ford Mustang. This is his favorite car by choice. I know he's in this most of the time, if not all the time when he's driving. He has experience here in Portimão already. He's raced here before. Tricky corners here, 7 and 8 up to Samsung corner. It's really easy to lose the rear getting onto power, especially in the Mustang that has so much torque. As he comes over this bend, drops down. We're going to come up to Portimão. Turn 10 here. Again, it's tricky to find the right apex. It's later than you think. And you got to get on the power as quickly as possible. Turn 13 can be tricky to find the right space in this hairpin. Good so far. 2 purple sectors. Getting it on the gas, trying to really get as much of a high speed as he can. All the way up to 240 kilometers an hour. 250, coming across the line. And that's a 145.1. So that's going to be the time to beat there. Josh Harper-Jones still currently in the lead in terms of qualifying in the hypercar category. Showing the separation of where everybody is on track at the moment. So as you can see, the majority of people are still in the pits as we have 8 minutes remaining. We can run you through the rest of the field while we watch Josh Harper-Jones fly through here in his Porsche Motorworks vehicle. We have still in the garage George Benham. We saw him last year. He is moving up to the hypercar field this time with the Genesis. He is still in the pits. And here in Drysdale, he was in Cadillac as well last year. He's also made the switch over to Porsche. Julian Gropel, he was fighting heavy in the Lamborghini Works last year in the GT3 class. He has now also switched over to the Ford Mustang to team alongside Conor Sinos. Our hypercar season 1 and 2 champion, Greg Orts, is in the Cadillac this year. That is a switch from the Alpine that he was in last season. Alex Betts, he was in the Porsche hypercar teaming with Ryan, but now he is going to be in the BMW. Up next after that, we have in the Aston Martin, Jake White. He is new to the EVO Racing League family. In the Lexus, Qui-Gon Jim, also new, still in the garage. Andrew Grigg, another Lap Legends Motorsports driver. He is going to be in the Lexus. He was here last season, and he is looking to find more of himself this year. He is in that GT3 Lexus. Glenn Gretsch in the Corvette. That is a new entry to the EVO Racing League family. As well as we have David in the Peugeot hypercar. David, and he is also a new entry to the EVO Racing League family. So it's exciting to see all of them there and seeing all of them join us. seeing a little replay of an accident here. Nothing really showing, just that he was sent back to the pits, so nothing of importance with that one. This is Ben Blizavicius. He was in Hypercar last season. He has switched over to GT3 since. Shea Evans is really trying to fight now to find pole position. Not a lot of time left. And he's going to be aborting this one and going back to the pits. So the time to beat is Josh Harper-Jones right now with a 132.8. And in GT3, the time to beat is Connor Acinos with a 145.1. Closest there is Benny Anjos. Remember, he is new to the EVO Racing League family. He has a 145.5. And in second, Shea Evans is trying to find the 132, but he is stuck in the 133s at the moment, 133.1. You know, I was talking to him earlier, and he said that the Ferrari does not have the feel here like it usually does around most other tracks. So in a car that is usually dominant, we might see some difference here throughout today in our 30-minute sprint race coming up. And Josh Harper-Jones just putting in more laps, trying to extend his lead. Let's get on board with Benny Anjos. He is on a lap right now, trying to dethrone Connor Acinos. Let's get his quali info up here on the screen as he gets through here. He's down in Sector 1, unfortunately, but he's really trying to look to find a new time, one that will be better. Overall, he has a better Sector 1 than Kana. Slower than his personal best right now as he gets loosey-goosey, and that's going to have him abort this lap. So he has 2 minutes to get around the track and start a new lap because this will be no good. TJ Rumble, a new entry to the EVO Racing League family here in Season 3. He is going to be in that Ferrari 499 hypercar with the HP branding all over it. White, blue, and red are the colors. He is on his first out lap with only 2 minutes remaining, so he's going to have one lap and on relatively cold tires as well. So as he gets geared up to start his lap, let's get on board with him. And right now he's coming through the turn 13 hairpin, so he is near the end of his out lap now. You can see that in the bottom right hand of your screen. The long turn 15 gallop. Really important to do this right to start a good flying lap as we get on board with Rumble as he crosses the line and starts his lap. Turn 1 Primera is very tricky. It is nearly a right 90-degree right-hand turn. So you got to be really brave to get it right. And you want to get as far right here as possible so you can have as much downforce and mechanical grip coming through this left-hander. You want to get through here as fast as possible because you have this straight here going into Craig Jones of turn, Torrey Vip of turn 5, and you want to get as much high speed there as possible. Personal improvement from his practice sessions, he is 3/10 up as he comes up towards 7 and 8 of Samsung. Now these are the parts that are tricky when your hypercar tires are still relatively cold. A lot of elevation changes you can see, so that can make it really tricky as well. You got to be really brave to get back on the power as fast as you can, but you don't want to over-exceed your tire temperature going through turn 13 now. That was a little slow. Didn't utilize all of the track that he could have. Out of Sagres. And we'll see how brave he is here through turn 15. You can really see him being thready on the throttle, not to overwork the car through the corner. Let's see what time he puts down. And that is a 135.2, so that is well off the mark. We're looking, he only had that one lap, and that's what happens when you have cold tires. So Shea Evans is going to take pole position in Hypercar. Connor Racino's with the 145.1 is going to take pole position in GT3 as we get geared up here for this race.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
So here we go. Get on board here with Shea Evans as we get over to begin our race start. In front, we have Shea Evans, we have David in the, whoa, this is not quite right, the starting grid, but that's okay. We can do it manually. So up front, we have Shea Evans in row 1, followed by Josh Harper-Jones. So Shea Evans was able to find the time in that 4.99 machine, just barely edging out Josh Harper-Jones. Pascal Schmerke in the Genesis, it lines up on row 2 next to TJ Rumble. George Benham did not qualify, put a qualifying lap down. He's in 5th next to Alex Betts, also did not put a qualifying lap down. Below them, our championship winner of season 1 and 2, Greg Orts, is in 7th with no qualifying time. Next to him is Kieran Drysdale, and David in the Peugeot is after that. And in the GT3 field, Kana Racinos is going to be starting on pole there, followed by Benny Anjos in the Porsche machine. In row 2 for them, Josh Fifield in the McLaren, and Benas Lesvicius 4th in class. And then Ollie Barker, owner of EVO Racing League, starting 5th next to Julian Groppel in that Ford Mustang. Jake White in 7th, with Qui-Gon Jinn next to him. Andrew Grigg and Lynn Gretsch round out the field. So let's get back on board with Shea Evans as we start round number 1, season 3 here at EVO Racing League. 15 corners, 2.8 miles of racing action is ahead of us. The roller coaster of tracks, one of the most dramatic modern circuits, due to its massive elevation changes, blind crest, and downhill braking zones. Very tricky for these drivers. Shea Evans leads us to the green.
Green flag.
And here we go. Listen to these machines roar up as we get down to turn number 1 of Primera. This is a hard right-hander, and it's very tricky, especially with these hypercars who are going to be on cold tires. Wow, and look at that. Josh Harper-Jones goes very far wide off the track. That allows Rumble to teleport basically up to first place. Shea Evans drops down significantly. He's struggling on those cold tires. George Benham is going to overtake him there now. You see a battle up front with TJ Rumble and Josh Harper Jones. Josh Harper Jones going wide again, not able to find a way around Rumble here. You can see some damage already to the front right bumper and fender of that Porsche machine. They're 2x2 now. And you see some contact. That is going to cost Josh Harper Jones. He goes off to the side into the gravel. Rumble leads. George Benham also drops as well. Let's see what happened there. And it looks like some contact and a spin is what that was. We'll go back to live here as he has to make his way through the GT3 field. Relatively calm there. You can see Connor Racino's still as Josh Fifield spins in the background, so lots of drama with here, and that was contact right there with Hypercar that led to the spin. Back to live here as we go with Kana is still leading and Benny is still following him, so not a lot of drama there. Pascal Smirky gets by Shea Evans, but the returns quickly. Rumble is riding away in the distance up the field. As all of these guys find their way through, let's get on board here with our race leader as we get a helmet cam brought to you by Loaded by CD Keys. A slight right-hand lock up there. You can see that as he gets into turn 11 right now. So it is a sprint race, but we don't want any lockups that'll provide flat spots to the tires, and over the course of this race, that'll apply a lot of degradation to a track that already degrades the tires a lot. Closest battles here is between first, second, and third of the GT3 class. Benny Anjos is chasing Connor Racino's, but close on his tail, Benas Blasivicius is there. Kana has the fastest time at the moment with a 154.691. We'll see how that improves. And that is altered now. Benny Anjos takes a faster lap of 146.2. That is 1/10 faster than Kana's lap as well. And Benas had track limits that lap, so we have no information on his lap. You can see he's trying to push to keep up with these two ahead of him. This is a fight for first as it is. And they're really fighting. You can see the squirreliness there of Benny in that Porsche, but he's getting marginally closer. 3/10, 4/10 is just the gap. That straight line speed of the Mustang is really saving Kana at the moment. He's dropping back now. It's about 9/10 the gap. Some difference. go back in a replay and watch Shea Evans overtake TJ Rumble. And this was at the Tour VIP turn 5 where that pass was made. Another replay coming in. Josh Harper-Jones making contact with Pascal. And that was also at turn 5 there. They still stay in tow with each other. As this is the fight for 3rd place. In the hypercar, and the big lockup there, you can see by Josh Harper-Jones. Oh, but Pascal has a moment of his own. That allows for a pass for 3rd place. Josh Harper-Jones moves up. Still a lot of racing ahead of us, but you can see the errors, especially by the GT3s, that is allowing for a lot of drama to incur. And the gap grows by a lot already. You can see that there as Josh Harper-Jones moves up the road significantly. Benny Anjo still chasing Conor Racino's for the GT3 race lead. 6 tenths is the gap. TJ Rumble brings out a yellow flag. We'll see what's happening here. And he lost the rear and spun. This was at turn 13. That's going to extend the gap for Shea Evans, and he also drops down a place to Josh Harper-Jones. Kana has the fastest lap of the race in GT3, a 1:46.0, in his attempts to run away from Benny there in the Porsche behind. George Benham, in attempts to catch up, sets the fastest lap in hypercar with a 1:34.0. That is extremely fast in comparison to the cars directly ahead of him. Pascal Schmerke has a 1:35, so that's, 6 tenths faster. 1:34.1 is the time Shea Evans has set his best lap. And only 1 tenth off of his last lap. So he is also still pushing. He's got a purple sector 1 right now with 19.937 sector 1. You can see Conor Racino's is pushing now as well to try and extend the gap away from Benny. Josh Fifield overtook Ollie Barker in this front stretch straight here, looking at the replay. And that was just straight line speed with a better exit for Joshua Field. So something important about this race is we have 2 times fuel burning rate. So what that means is either these drivers are going to have to be fuel saving over the course of this race, or they may need to pit for a splash and dash at the very end. So that is going to be looking at the strategy that we have going. Let's see if we can check in on the energy of these drivers. So we still have a lot left in the tank, and we do have a significant amount of time left, but we'll see what the fuel rate consumption is as we move forward through this race. George Benham finally with the excessive overspeed overtook Pascal Schmerke, and that was for P4. This was at turn 1. You could see him getting along the inside and making a clean overtake. Let's get some views with Benny Anjos on board as he tries to really track down Connor Racines, who's right there up the road. The gap is marginal. It is 5/10, and it is opening and closing as we go. Importantly, the rain has started falling, so we have some mixed conditions now. You can see the windshield wipers of Benny activate. So it is going to get tricky now, especially with these very windy corners. When do you take wet tires? You can see the sliding already here on Benny's onboard. Let's get some information on the screen now of the forecast. Let's see what that's going to look like. So it looks like for the next 15 minutes we have rain. So that'll pretty much take us to the end of the race. So it is important to see what these drivers do now as they navigate some tricky conditions. At what point do they decide that it is too much rain? Back on board, I like this camera angle as we navigate the wet. You can see looking around, the rain isn't coming down that hard. It's a drizzle. You can barely see it affecting other parts of the track, but you can really see it on the windshield of the cars. It's coming down very lightly. So because of that, the track conditions might not deteriorate as fast. You can see that it's pretty much still sunny outside. So it is important to see how that affects the condition. Now in this view you can see the clouds on this side, but importantly that may only affect parts of the track. It might not be extremely wet on all parts. So when do you take those tires? You see George now already getting some loss of grip. He went really wide right there out of turn 10 into turn 11 at Portimão. And now we have our hypercars finding their way through. This is Shea Evans. He is the race leader. So that's the multi-class aspect mixed with some tricky conditions, as he's going to have to get through Connor Racines here in turn 15. Does so cleanly. Now, Josh Harper-Jones, who's chasing Shea Evans, is going to have to do the same work there, and with a battered Porsche, it may be a little bit more tricky. Into turn 1 now, he's going to be approaching the class leaders of the GT3 field here soon. You can see them there at the front of your screen. So, currently, we have 3% rain, and it is, the track conditions are damp. 29, a little lock up there on the left-hand side for Josh, but the conditions on the track are 29.3 degrees Celsius, right? So it is a little drizzle, and it is expected to ramp up to light rain over the course of the next 12 minutes. And that's what the forecast is showing on my weather radar at the moment in the booth. And looking outside, you can kind of see it pick up a little bit every minute or so. But it's odd as the clouds, it's still considered clear right now. The overall weather is 22 degrees Celsius. So luckily the track is still a little warmer. It's going to be in benefit of these machines. Who's the biggest and largest is we have contact. Oh, lots of things going on here. Benny on host, I believe, was just hit. Let's go back. Contact between Josh Robert Jones and Benny on host. Here's the replay of that. This was the lockup that we saw earlier. Yep. And not a lot of contact, but just a lockup between the two. And then let's go with this second one between Benny on host and TJ Rumble. You could see them crossing. Oh, and that's because TJ Rumble lost the rear again at turn 13. He's done that multiple times already. And we saw the yellow flag replay already of Rumble losing it. George Benham was able to overtake Rumble because of that. Probably still trying to recover. And yes, you can see that there as George Benham finds his way through and gets promoted up to third. And George Benham makes contact with the leader of Connor Racino's. This is at turn 1. And that almost sent both of them into disaster. Lots of flashing lights from George as that happens. But, you know, it is upon the faster car to make it a safer overtake. And I don't think George did that. So I don't think it caused too much trouble for Connor Racino's. But that is going to be something that the stewards might have to look at. Ollie Barker in the Lexus, currently in last place in the GT3 field, just received a drive-through. I would assume that is for track limit, so he will have to find his way into the pits and serve that. Let's see the moment that he did that. And yeah, you can just see it right there. All 4 wheels came over the line. And that's going to bring out a drive-through penalty for Ollie Barker. So you can talk to us and send us messages at EVO Racing League on Twitch. Oma asks, who's the biggest and largest? And now, generally speaking, that is me, but to support our Lack Legends Motorsports drivers who are in the EVO Racing League field today, the biggest and largest is Connor Racino's in the Ford Mustang GT3 as he leads in a battle against Benny Anjos. And they are battling for first right now. You have that on your screen. The gap is 0.6. It's been like this for the majority of the race. As you can see, their headlights has also come on as the rain has started. That is a WEC requirement. It's a safety requirement. Make sure you can see through all conditions, and that make sure that other people can see you through all conditions. So the track is still at damp, but the rain has gone from 3% up to 10%. So it is getting worse. Attempted move maybe by Benny at turn 10 could have just been a loss of grip. He went kind of wide. Connor Racino's keeps the lead. Panther says in the Twitch chat that he is looking and rooting for his boy Field as he tried to make his way up. He is currently sitting 4th in class. He has a large margin of 38 seconds to regain, so I don't think we'll be seeing him join this battle anytime soon, but he is trying to recover. He did suffer contact and a spin early in a race, so he is just trying to make the most of that now. Oh, I apologize. Sorry. That was Ollie Barker who has the 38-second gap. You are right. Byfield is here looking for a battle now between him and Ben Blazavicius. The gap is getting quite close. So that is my apologies. These guys are in a heated battle now, and that's because Ben looks to be struggling severely with the conditions, and this might result in a change now with the exit speed. Josh Fifield looks to try and get some slipstream. Ben is defending to the inside of the track. We have a yellow flag going somewhere. Connor Racinos, and Ben goes deep. Connor looks to have spun here at the turn 5 hairpin. That drops him from first down all the way to 4th place. So that is a detrimental spin there, and that I guarantee is from conditions. So are these drivers going to take tires soon? Is it necessary? There's 9 minutes remaining in the race, and they're spinning all over the place. Whoa, look at that, as Ben almost loses it, as you can see these hypercars trying to make their way through. Lots of yellow flags popping up on my screen. Looks like Kana lost it once more. We'll drop over to that real quick, see what happened to him. And yeah, it's just those rears. Those rears are gone. And on a spot like that, I mentioned that earlier in the race, it goes so much onto the rears, and the torque of that Mustang, it's really dangerous to go through that spot of the track. And with these mixed conditions, it is getting harder and harder every single time. TJ Rumble receives a drive through, and Josh Hubbard Jones also is getting a yellow flag, I believe, or throwing out a yellow flag, I believe. Yep, that is him losing the rear. So the conditions now have taken a turn for the worse. Is anybody going to go into the pits? Is anybody going to take the tires? And yes, Fifield goes in. Benny Onhost goes in. They are making the decision that it is too much. The pit lane is going to get busy. Now, here's the important factor. We told you this was a fuel-saving race. So, does this give a chance to take fuel, take tires, and just push to the end of the race? Or are you going to use the fuel saving you've done, only take tires, get a faster pit stop, and try and get out as quickly as possible and push to the end of the race? There's only 7 minutes remaining. Everybody's in here. You can see how busy it is. Kana has to be moved around. They're all in here. Who's going to get out first? Fifield gets out first. Ben has to spin. And this is the strategy I'm talking about. Benny Onhost stays in longer. I believe he is taking fuel and tires. He is going to be able to get all the way to the end of the race. Let's go now and see where they are energy-wise. Who took, and that's it. Benny Onhost took 100% fuel, and I think that was a mistake. You don't need 100% for 7 more minutes. So that might have just taken away Onhost's attempt at a win. The field now leads out of the pit stops. The gap is 2 seconds to Benas Blabisius behind. The lights were too bright for a lot of people, as Oma says in the Twitch chat. Drama for the Ford is true. Kana drops far. He is in 3rd. Terrible strategy from Benny Onhost. Takes full fuel and drops all the way to the rear of the field after being in the lead. In terms of the hypercars, Shea Evans still leads. And George Benham has crawled his way all the way to the top after TJ Rumble received a drive-through penalty. Let's see the tires now. We were asked to show that, so let's skip over there. Conrad Sanos having another yellow flag jump out. So yeah, everybody has switched to wet tires. So that just shows the conditions that we are in. Checking the replay of this yellow flag that was put out. And it is in the same corner again, the exit of Samsung, turn 8. Kana loses the rear. And it's just such a tricky corner, and it gets so much harder in the wet. All the gaps have grown, so I fear that now it is just going to be who can make it to the end of the race with the least amount of incidents. You can see the spray there now. The track is soaked. The conditions have moved to very wet track conditions, the rain has gone from 10% to 15%. And according to the forecast, we will have rain to the end of the race, and we have 4 minutes remaining. To show the difference in pace right now, the fastest lap of the race is Shea Evans with a 133.8. His last lap was a 148.1. So he is significantly slower. And Connor Racino's in GT3 has the fastest lap of a 146.0. And he just did a 224.7. We've had 2 back-to-back yellow flags. Benas Blazavicius puts out the first one in the Mercedes. And losing the rear again. This is out of the turn 5 hairpin. He really goes off the track, burning up those wets to try and get back on. And then Connor Racino's again losing the rear. I can't even see what corner this is at. He is spinning all over the place. TJ Rumble overtakes for P4 Pascal Schmerke. And I don't even know where Pascal went. He's trying to recover as well. You can see Rumble up there ahead of him. The conditions are just absurd at the moment. It's taken a turn for the worse for these drivers. And now we're really seeing who's good and who's great. As Schmerke goes wide at turn 1. So everybody took tires, and we saw some questionable strategy choices with the amount of fuel taken by some of these drivers. 2 minutes remaining. Shea Evans is leading, followed by George Benham in second and Josh Howard-Jones in third. And in the GT3 class, Joshua Field leads. Benas Blazavicius is in second, followed by Benny Enhos. Here, Shea Evans, our leader, goes wide at the turn 5 hairpin of Torre Vip. And the track conditions have gone up to very wet. So not just wet, but very wet. So that just speaks to the conditions these drivers are having to find their way through. Benas Blazavicius brings out another yellow flag. And that's losing the rear. In a very similar way at turn 5 that he did the lap before. Now, because of all these mistakes, he retains P2, but you can see that he has some competition coming up on him very soon. Benny Enhos, trying to recover after taking too much fuel in the pit stop, is now right on the tail of Benas. You can see him up there on the edge of the track. Benny is all over the track now, trying to find as much time as possible. The sector times are in favor of Benny at 43.9 sector 2 compared to Benas's 49.8. As the hypercars find their way through as they trickle past. Josh Howard-Jones pulls out another yellow flag for us. Oh, and that was a severe snap after loss of grip. And, you know, he is dealing with a lot of damage you can see on the front end of that Porsche. So the conditions don't make that any easier. We're on our last lap of the race. As Shea Evans tries to keep it on the track one more time around. The rain is decreasing. It's gone from 15 to 13%. But ow! The lights were too bright. The rain was too shiny. What an amazing recovery, actually. Shea Evans just doing some 360s just for the fun of it. I just thought, oh, it's again! And he's off into the gravel. He may lose the race lead here. It's an 18-second gap to P2 of George Benham. He tries to return right into Josh Byfield, who is leading in the GT3 class. Holy schmoly, that was a unsafe rejoin if I've ever seen it. Good thing that Philly's gone again. The lead is dwindling on the final lap of the race. It was a 30-second gap. It's down to 9 seconds. He just needs to keep it on the track. He's nearly there. There's only one more corner. He just has to keep it on there before George Benham catches him. The gap's down to 8 seconds. He comes across the line and takes the win. Shea Evans wins in hypercar. George Benham comes in P2. I just had a heart attack. Oh my God. Josh Harper-Jones has been rounding the final corner. Josh Byfield has to do one more lap, I believe. But it's solidified because Benas crosses the line in P2, followed by Benny Anjos taking P3. What just happened? TJ Rumble is going to be solidified in 4th. Pascal Schmerke in 5th. This is huge for Josh Field. He was looking for a moment all season through season 2 and he could not find it. He had potential for race wins but was unlucky throughout the entirety of the season. Today, the opening race of season 3, he showed it. He found that moment and he kept it on track, most importantly. And, you know, credit to all of his fans in the background. Panther being the biggest supporter of all. He came from contact with Hypercar in the beginning and spinning and dropping to last place. And clawed his way all the way back to a race win at the season opening, putting him in the lead for the championship here at EVO Racing League in Season 3 at Portimão. An absolute bender of a race. Especially the last 10 minutes there with the conditions. I didn't know what was going to happen at any point as he crosses the line last and takes the win in GT3. Wow. Wow. I'm at a loss of words. I have to admit. That was crazy. That was crazy. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't leave yet. Up next, driver interviews here at EVO Racing League. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have been your commentator. I'm Nick Silva. I am bringing up the race winners of Round 1, Season 3 here at Portugal, Portimão, Algarve International Circuit. So up next we have Shay Evans and Joshua Field. Let's see if we can give them some time to cool off and find their way to the commentator's booth here. So, up first, we have the GT3 winner, Joshua Field, in the McLaren number 14 machine. Welcome to Winners Row.
Thank you. Oh my god.
So, first of all, I want to talk a little bit about last season. Last season, you spent a lot of time trying to find performance, find results, and there were so many times when you were so close, but you either found unlucky moments or you just didn't quite have the pace potential to get there. And you were telling me how much you wanted a result like you did today. So what did you kind of do to go from where you were last season to showing up and making a statement on round number 1?
Nothing. Honestly, I did nothing. I just kind of went into the race praying for the best. Didn't even know it was a rain race until about an hour before the race. So I did a bit of practice in the rain, and I was constantly spinning, and somehow didn't end up spinning once in this race.
Yeah, the weather was unpredictable to say the least. Nobody knew that
Awful.
We would get a thunderstorm over Algarve International Circuit up until, about an hour before the race. And everybody went into full panic, and it showed in a lot of people today. But you kept your composure, and you crawled back from a contact with a hypercar spin in the beginning all the way up to first place. So how do you stay mentally intact after dropping all those places in the very beginning to find your way to all the way to victory lane?
Well, the contact happened, obviously. Wasn't very happy with that. But kept my calm and just focusing on the gap ahead of me. I saw it closing down. It's like, you know what, maybe I could do this. Closing, ended up overtaking Ollie. And then I started closing in on the Merc too. Then it started raining. And then the two leaders, the P1 and P2, just started losing so much time. I was like, hang on, how am I gaining so much time on them? And I'm coming around one of the turn 5, I think it is, and I see the leader spin. I'm like, hang on, wasn't that the leader? And then I found myself in P2. And I don't even know what happened in the pit stops. I went in P2 and came out P1 somehow.
Yeah,
By some miracle.
You had, well, Benny Anjos took full fuel in the pit stop, and I think that might have been a mistake. So he got stuck in the pits for a long time, and you just had a more efficient pit entry and pit stop than everybody else, and just came out miles ahead, and you just ran away with it from there.
Yeah, I put in 45% fuel, but I thought that wouldn't be enough, and I was kind of regretting my choice, but apparently it was perfectly fine.
Now, this puts you as a championship leader
Somehow.
for the beginning of the season. What are you looking forward to doing, and how will you prepare to fight for that championship for the rest of the season?
I have to start actually practicing a bit more now. Now that I know the championship might be on.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
Ugh.
He is here.
Oh my god.
He is ready, and he's going to fight for that championship. Congratulations, Josh, on your win today.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Joshua Field in the number 14 McLaren in the GT3 class. He takes the win today at round number 1, Season 3 here at EVO Racing League at Algarve International Circuit here in Portugal. Unfortunately, we were not able to retain Shay Evans for an interview today. He has other commitments that he has to run to, but we want to extend a congratulations to him. He has been in EVO Racing League for a long time, and he is putting his foot down in the opening race here at EVO Racing League. So don't go away, Net. Up next, we have lots of things coming to you soon here at EVO Racing League. This is round number 1 of a long calendar. So if you would like to stick around for next time, on June 6th, we have Imola, an Italian race of pure drama, pure action, and pure excitement. So that will be coming soon, June 6th, here at EVO Racing League on Twitch. You can also follow us at EVO Racing League on TikTok. I was Nick Silva, brought to you by Lab Legends Motorsports, and we have been powered by CD Key Loaded. So thank you all for joining us. I can't wait to see you guys next time, and congratulations to our winners today.